Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we explore the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Milan Kohut, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced, the lessons learned, and the strategies fueling future growth. Today, she equips ambitious women, professionals, and side hustlers with bold confidence, strategic visibility, power networking, leadership development, and interview preparation to seize overlooked opportunities. With that being said, Natasha, let me officially welcome you to Founders Future.
Thank you, Milan, for having me. It's an honor to be here with you.
It's great to have you. We're going to have some fun, lots of things to cover. So we're just going to dive right in. And how I love to open up with every single one of my guests is with a bit of a time travel, really. So before you even launched this current company of yours, what was that journey like before? And then eventually, what was the motivation for even getting into this space?
First of all, my background has always revolved around visibility and influence. And even before the language, I had the language for that. Around the age of 9, I used to notice that and him sells my candy bars, and not knowing it was entrepreneurship, so to speak. And then fast forward many years later, I started doing makeup artist. I became a makeup artist, and then I did like I did bridals, I did personal stuff, and then I transferred to corporate gigs. These ones were the best contracts I ever had, but but it definitely showed me how confidence changed the way how people perceive you and how you show up to the world, specifically to women, if I should mention like that later. So yeah, obviously I moved into corporate environments, and I noticed the recurrent patterns that many talented women delivered excellent work but remained invisible inside organization. Opportunity frequently circulated towards a louder voice rather than the most qualified ones, like if I should say. So yes, I was a makeup artist, and then I launched my brand Tea that was accessories for women that needed some equipment in the personal kits. And then I just transitioned to media, the podcast, where now I knew how I wanted to translate that transformation into visibility on, not necessarily online, but how they show up and how they communicate their value to the market.
I love it. One thing is safe to say, you've done a lot. There has been a lot of pivoting over the years for you.
A lot of
Um,
sure.
Yeah, but I'm curious with the most recent venture, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like as of right now, you really focus more on the side of coaching, consulting, and mentoring other women in business. Is that correct?
That is correct.
I got you. So let me ask you this question then. From running a successful accessories brand, Diesel Tea, what was that aha moment for you where you realized that, hey, I actually need to pivot again? There is something that is going to be more meaningful, or whatever the case might be, for you to make this kind of decision.
You know what? This thing that happens when a woman understand can just okay. Let me start over. Every time I was doing a makeup to for a woman, any woman, the outcome was always, wow, I've never seen myself as beautiful like that. And that for me, I was like, that's that. I was like, damn, I might be that powerful. So I love that reaction. And that for me, it's something I wanted to translate into the media. I had to find my voice as well as an entrepreneur and understand how to communicate my own value. And so now that I'm still in the journey, because growth is a never ending job, but I know I can now show those steps to these women, whether they are in corporates or entrepreneurship, whatever they're doing. So those quiet voices, the ones that I like to work with specifically are the quiet ones, the underdogs, or the ones, those homeschooling moms.
Mm.
These are the people that I enjoy a lot working with.
Yeah. Okay. You just gave us a huge sneak peek, and I appreciate that. And we're just going to dive deeper into what you just started talking about because a part of this conversation is really going to be just like shining more light in terms of how you operate right now. What is really the most of your focus right now? So, with that in mind, though, knowing that this is the kind of pivot that you made recently, I'm curious, who is that person that you truly identify as that avatar, if you want to call it that way, or like that most ideal client that you would like to serve with your company? But also, once you find that person, how do you describe that core offering or signature offer that you have in place for those clients?
You know what? The signature offer that I'm having, I'm currently tweaking it because obviously there's a lot of adjusting to be made, but ideally it would be those not necessarily solopreneurs, but people whether they have a small team or they work a lot by themselves, it's fine. But recently, I think I'm just going to describe a guest that I had. This woman she's a dentist for kids, and the day I invited her on my podcast, first of all, she was very surprised that she got that invitation. And once she got out of that podcast, she was like, huh, it did give her the chance or the opportunity to see her voice, that her voice has a meaning and can be powerful. So ever since that she got her episode, she went on being like a leader for her city in Florida, for her, and then she involved herself in so many other projects. So I'm really proud to see her doing that. So that I'm hoping I was clear or I give you an idea of the.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, when it comes to obviously, there is a lot of different ways in which people can engage with you, but also end up working with you more on an intense level. So I'm curious in terms of the structure of the offers that you currently have to offer for the clients. I'm curious, is this aside from the podcast though, is it about you doing one-on-one coaching where you have a really hands-on approach with your clients to make sure that you can walk them through like a framework that you developed, or is this like a community type stuff? Just give us more clarity in terms of how people can actually work with you and become a client.
Yes, certainly. Currently, it's a one-on-one type thing. But right now, the new offer it's gonna change towards a community because that's what we do best as women. As we need a community to flourish. We could do one-on-one type of stuff and understand that the plans and actions to do, and that's one thing. But when you have a community that's behind you that do the same things, I think that's the best option for women to flourish and be more motivated.
I think there is a lot of power in that. Like when it comes to one-on-one basis, obviously it's great because it's a much deeper connection that you build with a client. But at the same time, when it comes to group coaching and community building, it's great because I see there's a lot of other people who are pretty much coming from the same position as I am, and we can just grow together. We can motivate each other, right? So there is definitely power in that. And it also makes a lot of sense if you look at it from the business perspective, right? We always end up talking about the fact when it comes to your one-on-one clients, I'm pretty sure, Natasha, that you have the same 24 hours as I do or anybody else. So if that's the case, obviously there's going to be a limit in terms of how many people you can serve. But when it comes to group coaching and community stuff, it's much more scalable. So in terms of having that most scalable model for your own company and make sure that you can continually grow and scale, do you feel like it's really going to be about focusing on building the community, whether that means like a low ticket membership or whatever the case might be? Or can you also see yourself maybe having other visibility coaches and leadership coaches maybe working under you in the future with your methodologies? Or like what is your overall thought process in terms of
Oh,
growth?
definitely. I'm not hoping, but what I want definitely is to have those other coaches and other mentors because other mem to join my team now. Like I'm the main source, but obviously I want other coaches, other mentors to be able to serve the community as well for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now, when it comes to getting in front of the clients, though, like we're gonna switch it up to the behind the scenes. And at this point, you already know this, but when it comes to this podcast, if it is regarding marketing, sales, operations, we want to talk about it and provide some inspiration to the listeners. In terms of having the ability and having that client acquisition system built, what is it that you currently do on the front of your marketing and maybe specifically generating those right contacts, right leads to get in touch with the right women and have the ability to grow and scale the impact of your company?
Could you repeat that or rephrase that question for me, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what is it that you currently do with your marketing efforts to get in front of the right people, do it at the right time, and have the ability to grow your client base and eventually just get more clients and help more and more people?
Yeah, right now it's I go directly. I do have a list of leads, and the build your list is the fundamental for sure. You can't. I don't think there's any. I don't think it's the. I think that's the main way to go about it. And I do have get referred references, and now we're building obviously new. We have a new system that are currently being built behind the scenes. So for sure, automated stuff would be. It's gonna be something. It is something that we're currently putting into place.
When it comes to referrals and word of mouth, obviously that's the best source of leads that you could possibly get if you let your work speak for you. But when it comes to building a list, how you put it, how does one go about that? What has really worked for you? Is it about running ads and getting people into the pipeline that way? Is it about like organic content on social media? Or what is the strategy that has worked for you the best so far?
Currently, because I was challenged to help 200 women specifically for specifically Endeavor. And currently, I'm not doing ads. I'm going all the way organic because that's the plan that works currently for the movement Woman Up that I'm currently launching, by the way. And so currently it's organic. So through content like whether it's a LinkedIn, whether it's on YouTube. Well, YouTube needs a little bit of work, but we're getting that fixed. Instagram or TikTok, the social media is a very strong tool that we use.
100%, 100%. And also it's going to become very handy when it comes to all of those tasks that you have to take on the front of marketing. With that in mind, I'm curious though, can you see yourself building this intentionally as a bigger operation, potentially in the future, even have a department for marketing and somebody taking care of that and just working on a strategy and making everything better? Potentially having people taking calls, onboarding your clients, and making sure that you can spend your time on the coaching and mentoring? Or like, what is the overall vision when it comes to building your teams and the company from the inside?
Yeah, for sure. For right now, I've definitely had like people approaching me for the marketing aspect. So did select somebody. I did select a CMO. He's gonna be doing that specific. He's gonna be the head or the strategic head around different project around the woman up movement that we're building actually. So all the tools and the systems that we're putting in place, we're both sharing the same we're aligned, but he's the mastermind behind that for sure.
You, you cut out. Can you hear me?
Yeah, test.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
You froze.
you froze. Okay, but
Me
nice.
too?
Yeah, you did.
Huh. So both of us froze. Interesting.
You don't
Okay,
want to.
it's looking so next to your name, there is that little signal bar. It's yellow for you right now, and it's back. Okay, so we should be fine. Anyhow, all right. So the last thing you were talking about, the CMO that is going to be on the strategic side and taking care of all of those tools and systems, and you can just continue from that.
Yeah, so basically, I was actually done with saying that he's got where we're in the same ecosystem in terms of the about the people who we are around marketing. So we speak the same language, but he's going to be the head and the strategic mind behind the systems.
I gotcha. Natasha, I'm curious though, in terms of your goal setting, like obviously there is a lot of ambition. You want to grow the company, you want to see more impact of your company. So if we look at it from the perspective of maybe just the period of the next couple of months or maybe till the end of this year, 2026, what would you say are those biggest targets that you're trying to hit? Maybe the revenue that you want to generate, maybe some milestones that you have set for yourself personally or for the company. What does it look like for you?
The milestone that I exposed publicly, because it was a public declaration, obviously, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with Steve Larson, but he was like, Natasha, you need to put a number to it. And I said, you know what? I'll call it like that. The target is 1.5 million in the next 12 months. But that's the public called the public, the symbolic amount target that I put out there.
So you're saying there is a different number that you have in mind that is not public?
Definitely, yes,
All
definitely.
right. All right. Okay, let me ask you this though. I'm a huge advocate of the fact that when it comes to business, it doesn't really matter how long you've been running a company or been in business, generally speaking, but there is always something that comes up along the journey, and we have to face that next and constantly something to overcome. When it comes to your own journey and seeing this kind of growth, hitting all of those numbers and achieving that kind of success, what are you specifically expecting to either stand in a way right now or along that journey become the biggest challenge of seeing that growth?
I think it's the not the expansion, but I think the it would be like the I wish I would have better, like a lot more collaborators, I guess, to spread the reach. That would be the main thing. But I'm confident that because the 1.5 target, the part 1.5 million that I target that I put out there, it's without any resources. This is me, my head, and nobody else. It's just about a matter of securing that target. But what was I saying? What was I
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if there is anything to add to that thought, but you were just talking about the fact that when it comes to hitting that 1.5 million, that's going to be about you hitting more numbers and just securing that alone, but you need more collaborators in the future.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Sorry, I wish because I do have I have a network, and so now it's a question of have those people moving and their network moving. But I wish I have more collaborators to create that impact that I'm looking for.
absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think when it comes to something like this, you really need to learn how to leverage on that network and just have a lot of different strategic partnerships in place. So I love that you mentioned it. Natasha, again, a lot of ambition here. I'm excited for you and the future of this company. And let me ask you one last question, though. Considering it's been several years for you in the world of business, what is something or what would be the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger version? Something that you didn't know back then, maybe in those early stages of starting in business, but you do know now.
Stop overthinking. Just do it. Just do it.
That
I
easy.
mean, there's no mistakes, it's only lessons. So the more you fail, the more you learn. Obviously, it's I know it's cliche to say that, and we've been taught that a lot, but that's the way to go. As an overthinker, that's the best advice that I can teach. It's not to think, it's to stop overthinking, just do the damn thing. You want to launch a YouTube channel, just do it. Like nobody started like from the top. I watched some people like Lewis Howes. You see those old videos. He didn't start where he's at now. So stop overthinking, just do it.
As easy as that. No, a fellow overthinker here. So I completely get you. I understand. Natasha, beautiful. Thank you so much for taking some of your time today, sharing your story with me and the audience that we have here. If we got anybody who's listening to us right now and wants to be more familiar with the type of work you do and maybe just follow the journey, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Definitely LinkedIn. I've been savage on LinkedIn for quite some times, and now I'm gonna pick that back up. Obviously YouTube, be patient with me, but definitely Instagram, and these are the main channels. And we have our new website that's going to be live tonight. So I'm
Oh,
excited about that as well.
exciting. Okay, beautiful. Thank you again. It was a pleasure to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now, to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you as well, make sure to subscribe to Founders Future on your favorite platform. And also, if you're a business owner, more specifically a consultant or a coach, or you have an agency and you're trying to scale the business and really enhance both your sales and marketing efforts, also visit closers.io. Get in touch with our team and discover how exactly we scaled our company from zero to over 30 million per year in less than 3 years. Until then, keep on crushing it, and I'll see you on the next one.